Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Weapon Wall Racks mod, which is being made by user jcrew05. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a wonderful new modular wall storage rack system for you to store all your various weapons. And I love these things. They are pretty great. I mean, we already, of course, do have weapon racks that exist in the game that we usually use over there, and they are lovely, but they are definitely more for, like, artistic display, all showing your weapons horizontally so you can take them in all their glory. These wall racks, on the other hand, store all of them vertically, more for proper weapon storage to make it look like a more realistic armory so you can fit more guns into a smaller area. And I really love that whole idea. I like being able to make a more realistic armory in the game. So let's take a look at what exactly we do get here, and a fun part is you actually get two different styles of weapon wall racks. The first being metal weapon wall racks, and this is actually the more complete of the two, having a metal clamp for pistols and melee weapons, and 3 different metal clamps for holding rifles. And the reason for 3 is each one has a different spacing between them to take up little or more space. And finally, you also get a metal bar to use as either a separator or an end cap for your weapon racks. Very cool. The second style is wooden. Now, sadly, this one does not come with the pistol or melee holder. It is only weapon racks for rifles, and you get 3 different ones, again with varying spacing between the rifles, and of course also a wooden panel, once more for either separating or as an end cap for the racks. And yeah, I really do love these things. They are pretty great. It does sadden me that the wooden ones do not have the pistol one like over here, but, you know, still, they both do look wonderful and have different aesthetics depending on what you're going with for your particular base. Now, I should point out before we go further that there are some mod requirements for this thing. Specifically, you are going to need the Settlement Menu Manager and also one of the game DLCs, the Contraption Workshop DLC. With those two installed, to actually get these, well, you're just gonna have to go into your build mode, like with pretty much everything else you build in your settlements. Head on over to Decoration, and then Display, and thanks to the Settlement Menu Manager mod, we have this new Weapon Wall Racks category, and in here is where you find all of the things, which is pretty cool. Now, it doesn't matter which you're building for the metal ones, whether it's the single pistol, the rifles, for all of those, they're going to be the exact same amount of materials of 2 steel and 1 aluminum. The metal bar only taking 2 steel there. And for the wood, it's sort of a similar situation here. The 3 different racks for the rifles are all 2 steel and 2 wood, and then the wood spacer just being that 2 wood. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if you go with the metal or the wood, they all do clamp together quite nicely. They've got some good attachment points on them, so you can really make some pretty cool weapon rack rooms with these things as tightly put together or as far spaced apart as you desire, which is pretty darn cool. And I do like that you do have the different spacings of either the narrow, the medium, or the wide for the rifles, as it is kind of nice to have that option be able to take up more or less room. Now, you do only get the one singular spacing with the pistols, as you can see here, which is not very far there, but it will hold the pistols rather nicely, and of course, melee weapons as well. And yeah, overall, I think having the 2 different styles of either the wood or metal is pretty cool, so you can go with the personal aesthetic that you are wanting to go with. And it's just neat having another form of weapon rack to display things on. And again, just the ease of use with the attachment points there is quite nice. And they even do have vertical attachment points, as you can see there, so you can double stack these and just basically fill a whole freaking wall with, you know, as many of these things as you desire, which is pretty great there. That is wonderful. It is pretty cool. Now, as for how they do get used, it's just like any normal weapon rack, except you're gonna want to go towards the middle for the rifles. As you can see, if I actually point at the model parts, it doesn't register the transfer window there. But if we do go into the middle, we can just pop in any weapon, and boom, there it goes onto our lovely weapon rack. Of course, it works similarly for the metal ones here. If we do grab one of these, and yeah, there we go. A nice marksman rifle there. Perfect. Perfect. Now, it can sometimes look a little bit weird with rifles, because, well, you know, things like these, short hunting rifles here. If we put it in here, it looks really wonky, but unfortunately, that's just... You know, they can only take into account so many different weapon designs. As you can see, it's kind of holding it... Actually, it's not even holding it by the barrel. The barrel is just ever so slightly below the clamp. But unfortunately, that's just something that you'll have to deal with anything that's not fully a rifle. Now, as for the pistols holding here, they actually work, again, quite nicely. You can put our 10mm pistol there, it'll hold it down. And of course, also for melee weapons, put our security baton there. And perfect. And they do look pretty great. I do like it. The 10mm is kind of clipping through it a little bit. It, again, depends on, you know, the different weapons. Things like these short hunting rifles look a bit wonky. From, like, the back, the pistol looks quite good. Just from the sides, it looks a little bit weird. And I really do wish that the pistol and melee weapon one would have a wooden counterpart. And perhaps we may get one. The mod maker does actually have plans of porting this over to console eventually, once all the bugs are worked out in the next couple of weeks. So perhaps, maybe, just maybe, we'll get a single wooden one for pistols and melee weapons. That would be kind of cool. And I do also quite enjoy the dividers that we get on these things, too, because you can make some pretty cool weapon rooms with that. You know, split it into different zones, like have your hunting rifles in between two dividers, have your laser rifles in between two others, etc. It just adds in a nice little bit of aesthetics for you to, you know, design your armory a little bit more. And once you do want your gun, you just gotta grab it like anything else. Now, again, the slight wonkiness you can see on the metal ones. If I actually look directly in the center, like when we put it in, it doesn't work so well. But if we go like to the bottom a little bit or to the side a little bit, etc., just the zone for where you select the weapon, it takes a little bit of getting used to it, but it's honestly not that big of an issue because, well, eventually you'll get it. You can grab the weapon just like normal, and then boom, go on your merry way with your lovely rifle collected from your armory. So yeah, if you'd like to take a look at this mod for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description, but that is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for the next episode, when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, we'll have a good one.